Welcome back, traders. Continuing the 2024 backtesting series. Now, I do have a little bit of sore throat right now, so I'm going to try not to talk as much in this one, hopefully. But with that said, last week we did have a really good trade, almost got 10R with this run up. Now we are at all-time highs. So what can I expect as in terms of like a higher time frame bias? Well, typically when you're at all-time highs, it's kind of hard to know where the next target is. You kind of have to rely on projections. So I have a projection here from the most recent swing low that took out liquidity to the previous swing high, and projecting that we did have 50% or a 0.5 negative 0.5 standard deviation target that was hit last week. But above it, we could also aim for this -1 standard deviation. So that will be the buy side target. And, with the price being at all-time highs, there's actually no real signs of any bearishness. So there's no real point in trying to think, oh, it's going to go down right away. It can continue for, well, who knows? But on the other side, if it does come down, perhaps for a little bit of retracement, what I'm looking at is this daily fair value gap. It's, there is one above here, but this one is much larger and it lines up with these two down candles. This is the daily order block. So if there's any retracement, I will expect price to come back down to here. So this would be the sell side target. So buy side target up here, sell side target down here. I'm going to be slightly bullish, but keeping in mind that we are at all-time highs, we could have some retracement. You kind of want to be a little careful and go kind of neutral. All right, so this is Monday, November 11th. I will be back testing November 11th through the 15th this time around, and I'm on the hourly chart. Now, don't ignore these sell side lines down there. This green is that daily fair value gap I was talking to about if we have a retracement to the downside. But zooming in here, we do have this swing low. I have it marked out. This is going to be the short-term sell side. We have a 1 hour fair value gap here. So it does kind of make sense if we come back down here. And you can see over the weekend, we do have a small little new week opening gap. So it may not go all the way down here. Perhaps it just come back over here. So the sell side I'll mark out is these two relative equal lows. We are at all-time highs. Perhaps I want to see a sweep of these sell side before continuing higher. All right, so a little bit after 9:30 is 9:45. We do get the sell side taken. So let me go ahead and mark it. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out to kind of get a better view of what's going on here. So we went through, this is the new week opening gap, and we'll kind of go into this area here. Going to a 15-minute, can we see any, well, I guess there's sell side here. So let me go ahead and just adjust it just to remind myself that we did take out the sell side here. I'll wait for heading for this low. If we zoom out one more time to the 1 hour chart, we could be coming down for this low and coming back into this fair value gap. So let me go ahead and highlight this in gray. So right now I'm waiting for price to come and take this sell side and perhaps go into this 1 hour fair value gap. But in all likeliness, I'm still going to be bullish with the higher time frame. We could be coming back down here if we, start closing below this 1 hour fair value gap. If we go down and use it as inversion, then I'll look for a short down here. But if not, if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be waiting to see any displacement to the upside. All right, so after taking out this sell side, the swing low, we are looking like we may be heading up for higher prices. We've got a 5-minute fair value gap here, but of course, I don't want to take the very first one. With this big drop, I think I want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap to kind of tell me that, yes, we're done going down lower with this initial down move. I'm looking at this as probably the Judas swing or the manipulative move for the day. And I want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap to get in long for higher prices. And I think I can go ahead and take a partial here, and then we'll see if we can hold the other one all the way up to that -1 standard deviation target. All right, so you can see we had a big drop down into this fair value gap, and we're potentially creating another one here. So if we do create this fair value gap, I'll go ahead and take a chance, but I'm not going to use big risk. I'm just going to go with half of my normal size. So if I have an entry here with my risk down at the low of this fair value gap, we'll go ahead and give it a shot with at least one contract. With a 30-point risk, we'll just do one contract. And then, yeah, we'll see if we can add into our position. And of course, I'm aiming for this high. All right, so we do have a lower fair value gap here. So I'm actually entered in at 218. And with my risk at 194, it's only going to be about 0.35% risk on the balance, so quite small as you can imagine. But yeah, just want to take a very small position here, see if we get some more displacement to the upside. All right, a few minutes later at 11:45, we're getting kind of choppy action now. So this could be it for the rest of the day, or we may go down and take out the low. But I did get stopped out on my small position. Oh well, I think the time is getting quite late, so probably won't have a trade today. But maybe if we get another big displacement, I can go enter in long. But right now, I'm thinking I probably won't touch this anymore for the rest of the day. More likely with this consolidation, probably spending a lot of time in here, it probably doesn't want to go through this down move. So it'll probably go down lower, maybe take out the sell side and into that fair value gap. Okay, here if we look at the price action at the end of the day, we did start slowly trickling down. Finally, we went below this sell side here at around 1 o'clock, and we did take out this sell side. However, we did not go into that 1 hour fair value gap. We completely rejected it and just kind of rallied back up to where this consolidation level was and just closed there for the rest of the day. Now, when I look at this on the 1 hour, we swept this sell side here. That could be enough. We don't necessarily have to go into this fair value gap, but we also have this 1 hour fair value gap from this drop. I would like to see price go above here if I'm going to want to go in long. So going into the next day, I want to see price go above this fair value gap and then perhaps even use it as an inversion. So that's why I'm going to have this in a teal color. All right, so Tuesday morning, as you can see, we did tap into this fair value gap, not by much though, just a little bit. And we're kind of just consolidating here. So waiting to see what's going to happen. You see this closure was right below this fair value gap, right? We have this fair value gap right here. Now, I'm going to leave it like this. Maybe we can get a bounce above here. And then if we start getting displacement above this fair value gap, then yeah, I can go ahead and take a long, aiming for this high. And of course, remember, we have that -1 standard deviation target up above. So pre-market, kind of a choppy action right now, but we can see that with this rally up and then we start dipping down, it's right before 9:30. So since we're tapping the high of that 1 hour fair value gap, remember, let me go back up to the 1 hour to see this fair value gap right here. So now that we're tapping into it, I'm looking for this to be inversion, and I'll expect price to go up or rally up at the 9:30 open and go and hit this buy side. So if we get that, maybe I want to see a confirmation fair value gap, and then I'll take the confirmation fair value gap long to the upside. And it looks like we're going to be heading for it. All right, so it's a little weird. We did go up to hit this buy side, but then you can see a pretty much a immediate reversal to the downside back to that 1 hour fair value gap. So price is acting a little choppy here. Maybe it could be seek and destroy, where it just barely wants to take out buy side and then aim for the sell side liquidity. Remember, even though we did take out this swing low yesterday, it's close to this one, so we can say this is also kind of like relatively close, but we do have a 1 hour fair value gap below it that it may want to draw to. All right, so 11 o'clock, you can see the price action very, very choppy. It's one of those days where I really don't want to touch the market, so just going to give it some time. If it shows me some displacement, I still want to see confirmation. Like this fair value gap here, we consolidated in it. If we get a fair value gap, I don't even know if I want to take that one. I think I still need to see 2 more fair value gaps for confirmation. Okay, so it is 12:15, and as you can see, a lot of choppy action. We're slowly grinding down, but excuse me, I do not want to be trading today, and I'm glad I didn't touch it. So let's go ahead and move on to Wednesday. And here's a quick look at the end of the day action. We did come back down to that 1 hour fair value gap. I suspected it, and as you can see, pretty much like right after we took it, we reversed this entire down move. And now it looks like we may be ready to set things up to go to the upside, maybe going into tomorrow. So let's go ahead and see what the pre-market action looks like. So here is November 13th. And, you know, we're kind of back into a prolonged consolidation here. This is the 1 hour chart. You can see very, very tight price action here. not really excited, to be honest, to really get long or short. Now, with this dip into the 1 hour fair value gap and this big rejection, kind of looking at this as a balanced price range, I don't expect this low to get taken. So I think I'm going to favor the upside. We do kind of have relative equal highs here. And then if we break through this fair value gap, we can aim for that high. But right now, I'm going to go down to a 15 minute since the price action is very, very tight. I'm going to see if I can, nope, I don't really see anything here either. So it's just going to go down to the lower time frame and we'll see what we get because yeah, it's actually really hard to tell what's going on at the moment. So definitely going to need to give it some time. Maybe wait till after 9:30. All right, so 8:30 actually, we did get a big rally up, going above this relative equal highs, going above this swing high here. This is the 1 hour chart. With this displacement up, if I want to be bullish, I don't expect price to come back down to sweep it, the sell side anymore. So let's go ahead and jump down to the 5 minute, and then we'll see. I think, you know, with this big range, definitely I won't be able to trade this. So I need to see price come down into this range, give me a confirmation fair value gap, and only then will I be able to enter long. And I will aim for the relative highs here. It was taken once before. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Let's see, these highs right here, it got nicked, but it's still kind of close, relative equal high, right below at the low portion of this fair value gap. So that's what I'm looking for, perhaps as a first partial. And if we do get above this fair value gap, of course, we're going to have to go for the previous swing high. Okay, so it's getting close to 10:30. 9:30, it was very, very choppy at the open, and we did not get a fair value gap to the upside. Instead, we chopped around, took out the sell side that I did not expect to get taken, going back into this 1 hour fair value gap. So even though it looks like we are going down, I don't really want to go bearish until I see price going below this fair value gap, because we may just be taking out the sell side, reclaiming this 1 hour fair value gap, and we could displace higher now. And with this right here, stopping right below that 1 hour fair value gap, kind of leads me to think that we're building in more buy side. So just going to wait. What I like to see is displacement to the upside. But if we start going down below here, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a short either. Remember, trying to stay flexible, trying to have a neutral bias. All right, so 11:55. Finally, we got a fair value gap here to the upside. We could be going up higher, but because of the time right here, there's only like 20 minutes left in my trading window. Not going to be taking a trade. Just going to want to see how the price action will be for the end of day, and then just move on to the next day. So this was nice. You could have gotten in here if you wanted to trade over the lunch hour, and now it's rallying above this swing high. Is it going to rally any higher? Let's take a look at the end of the day at 5 o'clock. And yeah, it did. It did poke up above the relative equal highs. I'm going to clean up the charts a little bit. It's getting a little messy here. But then after going into this fair value gap, we get a rejection back down and close at equilibrium. So not a really exciting day. Yeah, sometimes that's going to happen. Just trying to be patient. You know, I think that's one of the things that I'm struggling with is wanting to be patient and just be okay with not taking a trade. You know, I say that all the time, but even I struggle with it. A lot of people struggle with it. So you just got to practice on being patient and not clicking that button. All right, so November 14th, Thursday morning. And, you know, you want to take a look at your market condition here. If you look at the past week, a lot of consolidation. We are in a consolidation market. And when it's in consolidation, you really want to keep your hands off the trigger. You don't want to be trading unless you see something really good. So that's why, you know, even though like, oh, there's a fair value gap, I want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap. You know, we're not in a trending market. We're in a consolidation market. You just want to be more careful. With that said, I do see relative equal lows here. This actually looks pretty good for a sweep. And if we go down below this fair value gap on the 1 hour, we could be heading a little bit lower. Now, if I zoom out a little bit, just want to show you the 1 hour fair value gap I'm talking about. So we have relative lows here. Sell side looks like it's good. But if we just sweep it and we start bouncing up, then of course we got the buy side target back in sight. But yeah, just right now, just kind of waiting to see exactly what happened. Am I going to take a trade, a short, I mean, to the downside? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not seeing any obvious displacement where I could get in. Like, even if we do sweep these highs, I'm not seeing like any fair value gaps I can go for. I don't know. I'm just going to have to play it by ear. This will be the short-term buy side. Maybe if we sweep that and I see displacement to the downside, maybe wait for confirmation. Then I could take a short, but I don't know. Just going to have to see what happens. Probably wait till 9:30 and wait for 10 o'clock. All right, guys, so it's just before 9 o'clock. 8:30, we have a pretty big displacement to the downside. Then we consolidated about 50% of this fair value gap and just consolidated here. And right here, just before 9 o'clock, I'm looking at the sell side down here. And we may potentially be creating a fair value gap here. So I'm going to go ahead and try take a shot, hoping that maybe the 9:30 volatility will push price down really quick. Aiming for this right here. This is going to be my sell side target. Those are the relative equal lows. I'm going to highlight it in green just to make sure. And then my entry price, of course, would be over here. And even though it's only like a 15-point risk, I'm still going to go very small and go half my normal position size. Let me check the spreadsheet. If I can take 2 contracts, I will take one off. Probably like right here at the high of the fair value gap and then take my final target there. And if it goes below the swing low, I want to move my stop to a break even. Let me go ahead and check with the spreadsheet. All right, so yeah, I am going to be able to take 2 contracts with a 15.5-point risk. This will put me less than 0.5% risk. So let's go for it. And you heard my plan from before. Hopefully we get a quick move and I'll take my first partial here on this right here at 6.5. And yeah, let's just see how it goes. Now we could just rally up and yeah, that could very well happen and we get stopped out here. So let me go ahead and record that. And what I'm looking for here, now that we are rallying up, I don't want to just take the very first fair value gap here, right? But if we come back, if this fair value gap remains intact and we come back down and give us a confirmation fair value gap, I'll take the confirmation fair value gap for a long, aiming, of course, for this high, but really I want to go for this high up here, back into that fair value gap. Of course, I'm going to go with 0.5%. And yeah, let's see if we get that confirmation fair value gap. Okay, so 9:45, very, very annoying. This is like one of the reasons why it's very hard to trade at 9:30 because the volatility could get you. Did I even have a fair value gap? Oh my goodness. Let me go back. Let me Control Z here. Actually, no. There was no fair value gap here, guys. Like, I should not have taken that trade, right? The fair value gap did not come intact. There was no confirmation fair value gap. So, okay, this is going to be one of those times where I take it back because technically there wasn't any trade, right? You know me, every single time it's like I need to see a confirmation fair value gap. I always enter on a fair value gap, but I just noticed that I drew the lines back when it looked like it was a fair value gap, but the price did not close yet, right? This candle did not finish forming. By the time it did finish forming, we don't have a fair value gap. There was no entry. So yeah, sorry to retract, but technically there was no trade. And you've seen me do this in the past. I always said, if the fair value gap remains intact, then I have a trade. If it closes in, no trade. And this is one of those times that happened. I just did not notice it until later on. So yeah, no trade so far. I can still go in with full size, but now with this big displacement down to this fair value gap, perhaps we'll take out this low. I mean, I would actually like us to see a sweep of this low here, and then I want to see displacement to the upside, but I'm not interested in taking any shorts at the moment. I'm kind of looking at this like because we didn't take out this high, we're building in a little bit more buy side liquidity. So I think we're going to be reversing, but hopefully we take a sweep and we get a confirmation fair value gap to enter in long. All right, so 11 o'clock, we did come down to the sell side and we sweeped it. We had a change in the state delivery. You can see we went above this big down move. So it does look like we are going to change and start going to the upside. there is a fair value gap here. So we did come back down into it. We've gone through it and closed below it, which I don't like, but I can see why we're doing it. If you take a closer look, we have a SIBI here. It's probably coming back to this SIBI and using it as inversion. So let me just highlight it for you real quick. I'm going to take it off my chart. But here's the SIBI. It came back down and may look like it's going to be using it as inversion. So from here, if I get another fair value gap and preferably something that goes above this down candle, I will enter in long, looking for, well, these relative equal highs up here, and then above here, let's go up to a 15-minute. Above here, I guess this high, or maybe even this high, to be safer. But yeah, want to be a little bit safer probably. So maybe just looking for these relative equal highs to take the trade off. Okay, 11:45, and I do have a confirmation fair value gap here. And we did trade above this down candle. So I'm looking at this as my entry. And I'm looking at my risk is down here. And this is going to be about an 18-point risk. So I think taking 2 contract is appropriate. And I'm looking to probably take at least one of them off here. Maybe I'll take both of them. But it's getting close to my time window ending. So, I may take a partial here and then take the other one there just to be a little conservative. It's already going to give me a pretty nice R. So let me go ahead and calculate the risk. All right, so I am being a little conservative, only going to go for 2 contract. That's going to be a little more than 50 or half a percent risk. As you can see, it will be the first trade today. The previous one was a mistake. There was no fair value gap for entry, so of course there was no trade. So 2 contracts. Definitely going to be maybe a little conservative with my time window pretty much closing in. I'll take one off here and see if we hold the other one up there. If I look at a 1 hour, is there anything up? I'm not really seeing much to the upside I can aim for. So yeah, I think that I'll just keep my target around this area here at the high of this consolidation. Okay, and it didn't work out, but at least I was conservative and only did 2 contracts. So only had a 0.5% risk, a little bit more, but around 0.5% risk. So I understand we're in consolidation market, so that's why I went with a small size. Also, the time wasn't that right, getting close to the end of the morning. Just didn't work out. But this one we did have a confirmation fair value gap, technically, right? It came back down. It hit this inversion order or inversion fair value gap, so I thought it was going to work out, but no, it just started going down. And let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day. And let's see. It started going down, and now we are below this 1 hour fair value gap. So now that we're below it, we could be a little bit stronger on the downside. We'll have to take a look and see if we want to remain below it once we go into Friday morning. Okay, so Friday morning, it went below this 1 hour fair value gap, and it kept dropping. It went all the way down to the daily, right? Remember the daily fair value gap. This was where I thought we can retrace back into. So now that we've already hit our higher time frame target to the downside, unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure what we can expect. Maybe a bounce back up to equilibrium. Maybe we dig into it some more. So probably I'm not really too happy to see this pre-market. I probably won't be trading today. However, if we do stay in the upper half of this daily fair value gap and we start displacing upwards, that will give us future opportunities to go long for a new all-time high. And of course, if we go all the way down and trade below it, then it's probably time for a reversal. So either way, it is Friday morning. I'm going to go ahead and walk through this, of course, on the lower time frame, and we may or may not have a trade today. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. It does look like we're digging deeper into this daily fair value gap. We've almost made it to about halfway now. So I could expect a reversal. Now I am back on the 15-minute time frame, just to kind of keep things a little bit zoomed out, a little bit more in perspective with a bigger picture. I went ahead and just zoom out to the 15-minute. I did not really walk it through on the 5-minute. And walking through on the 15-minute, it kind of looks like I want price to go above this high for a market structure shift. We could retrace to any one of these small little fair value gap and go lower. So I wouldn't really trust any of this. If you go down to a 5-minute though, you can see like, oh, maybe we could go up this high and then go down lower. If you use this high as a market structure shift, I would not trust it because looking at the 15-minute, it still looks like it could be bearish, even if we take out this swing high, like, I don't know, somewhere here. So I want to stay on the higher time frame, the 15-minute, kind of walk it through to keep a bird's eye view. And I don't know, I don't usually do this, but this is something I think you should do if you want to, I guess, stay more in tune with the higher time frame. But it doesn't look like it's happening. It looks like we're just going to drop and dig deeper into this this daily fair value gap. So like I said before, probably not going to be taking a trade. We've already met the higher time frame target. When that happens, what can you do? You can't really do anything, you know, unless you want to chase it, right? You can chase it, sure, but that's not really something that I would like to do. So time window is done, and as you can see, if you do chase it, well, I guess this was your only opportunity if you think like, oh, it's going to go lower. But other than that, you don't really have any good opportunities to enter. And let's take a look at the end of the day, see what we get. We're nearing half. Well, I guess we're done with half of November, so only 1.5 months left. We do have a holiday towards the end of the week, but not next week. That's something. So next week we'll still have opportunities to trade. But anyways, we did just slowly trickle down to the low of that daily fair value gap, and now we're kind of consolidating at the lows, which is a little concerning, right? If you go, I'm gonna go back onto the daily. It is the last day, so don't need to worry about spoiling anything. After taking out this high, excuse me.